I've built my net worth to more than $1 million through real estate investing and made more than $1 million in cash through my businesses. But my very first goal when I started on this financial freedom journey was to make $10,000 per month. And if I had to start over from zero today with no audience, no money, and no connections, here's exactly what I would do to get to that mark fast. And as a spoiler, if you've watched the channel before, it would not be wholesaling real estate. If you haven't watched the channel before, my name is Lily, and I've been documenting my financial freedom journey and bringing you along with me. And yes, I started this YouTube channel documenting my real estate journey, which I thought was going to be the fastest path I could take to reach financial freedom. But I've learned a few things that may switch the order of what I pursued, not because real estate is bad or doesn't work to help you reach financial freedom. It absolutely does. But because I think that there's a different way to start that can be both easier and faster. So if you've been trying to consistently find real estate deals, but you're struggling, or you've been freelancing or working on a side hustle, but you can't get past that $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 per month mark, let alone hitting those 10K months consistently, this video is for you.
Thank you to Relay for sponsoring this video. You can use the link in the top comment to open up your free business banking account. You get free access to my course on how to manage your money as an entrepreneur.
In a nutshell, I'd skip real estate until after I was making 10K a month, and I wouldn't worry about creating passive income at all in the beginning. Instead, I would build a scalable service-led business. We want it to be lean, meaning we don't spend a ton of money, profitable right from the beginning, and fast to that $10,000 mark. And to help you piece together everything that we're going over here, I built a financial freedom calculator. It's linked in the top comment. You can grab it for free. And using a tool like that, I would just reverse engineer exactly how much I needed to charge and how many clients I needed to get me to $10,000 every month and then beyond that. So why not wholesaling again? On paper, it seems smart, but there's a big downside that most people don't talk about. Is that you have to learn a lot to build a successful wholesaling business. Just to get one deal, you have to learn a dozen different things about real estate and your market and sales skills and more. And then to repeat that process every month consistently so that you can actually live off of that money instead of working your 9 to 5, you have to actually turn it into a business, train others to help you, and really scale it up, investing a lot of the money that you made back into your operations so that you can really make it a business. It's not like you can just take that money, live off of it, and build up a business that's going to consistently do deals every month at the same time. So it does work. And when it was time to get into real estate investing, it would be a part of what I would do. But it's just not the first thing I would do if I wanted to reach $10,000 per month fast. Instead, I would identify a skill that solves a problem people are willing to pay for. And there are tons of problems that people have that they're willing to pay for. On a skill side, we want it to be a skill that, 1, I already have, 2, I can learn fast, or 3, a skill that I understand deeply enough to hire someone who is an expert at it, but maybe not at all the other business stuff like finding clients and building systems. And this might sound crazy, like how could you start a business around a skill that you yourself don't have? In order to achieve true financial freedom that gives you the money you need, but also the time freedom and the location freedom, you will eventually have to step out of being the one person doing all of the work inside your business. You'll have to hire other people, train them up, rely on their expertise in order to keep things moving. And so if you start that way from the beginning, then you actually do have a step up. Second, you can understand a skill without necessarily being able to execute it for yourself. So for example, when I started my YouTube agency, I knew that one of the problems that people would pay for is to get better, faster video editing. And I also knew that I am not a good video editor, but I had learned enough about video editing and YouTube content that I could recognize good editing. I could define what good editing looked like, and I could hire someone who was a good editor, even if I wasn't myself. So it is possible to rely on a skill set that you have or one that you can identify and hire for. But once you find that skill, there's another uncomfortable step, which is okay. So you're trying to make $10,000 a month through your own business. You got to do some stuff that's uncomfortable. It's fine. I would then turn that skill into a premium offer, not $100, not $250, but something that commands $1,500 per month per person that you're selling to, if it's going to be a reoccurring service that we provide, which I think is a good place to start. Whether it's something like a YouTube video agency or a social media management service, or if you're going to teach people how to do wedding photography and build a big business, whatever the skill set is, if you are going to charge monthly and continue to provide that service, we want it to cost $1,500 per month. Or if it's going to be a one-time exchange where you just provide the service and the person pays you one time, then we want it to be at least $2,500. This is exactly what I've done to consistently make $10,000 a month and beyond. I didn't want to build out the full wholesaling real estate business, and it takes a lot of rental properties and Airbnbs to hit that amount through just the monthly cash flow, which is why I've started the YouTube agency that I've told you a little bit about in this video. It's a very specific skill that solves a problem people would pay for. Business owners specifically want to have more successful YouTube channels so they can get more views, they can get more sales, and they can spend less time doing all of the things needed to run the channel. So, specific skill that solves a problem, and it's high scale, meaning the different services that we need to provide do not all have to be done by me. For example, we can say that we need a strategist / scriptwriter, we need an editor, and we need a thumbnail designer. I've already said that I'm not good at editing. I'm also not that great at making thumbnails, and so I can hire for those two spots right out the gate. And I started out being the strategist / scriptwriter. But now I've hired a strategist who works with me in order to learn and get up to a level where I feel comfortable with him completely taking it over. And that's how we define a highly scalable business. And I charge at least $1,500 per month per client to make this a premium offer. Running YouTube channels for business owners to help them get more views and more clients. And if you're having trouble identifying what that skill might be for you, as I was growing this YouTube channel, other people started asking me for help with theirs. They wanted strategic help. They wanted to know who my editors were, who my thumbnail designers were. And that's what kind of let me know that there might be another business opportunity to form around that. So if there's something that you're doing that you're already good at that people commonly ask you for help with, then that should maybe set off a light bulb for you to look into that as your service that could help you reach that $10,000 per month mark. Now, a problem that might be popping up is where you may feel like if you don't have a ton of proof or successful clients already, you have to start at the low end in terms of what you're going to charge. And this is a trap for three reasons. One, you're probably better than you think. You're obviously consuming content to better yourself and your business. So there's a hint that you may be underestimating the value of the service that you will provide. Second is that starting super cheap keeps you trapped in a loop that doesn't allow you to grow and make mistakes while still staying in business. Something that Hormozi always says in his videos is that the number one rule in business is to stay in business. And you stay in business by still having money in the bank. If you make a mistake, but you've still got money in the bank, you can figure out how to recover from it. But if you run out of money, game's over. And the trap is that when you charge so little per client, you need a lot of clients to reach that $10,000 a month mark. And with too many clients, you'll get spread too thin and you will actually do a bad job, lose clients, and run out of money in the bank. But if you charge more per client, you'll have more margin, more profit that you can set aside for your rainy day. You'll be able to spend the time and effort on those fewer clients to deliver fantastic results, which is going to justify your price point. And third, cheap pricing communicates something to your clients the same way that premium pricing does. If I offered you a plate of seafood, crab legs, lobster tails, escargot for $3, that would be a red flag. That same plate, though, served at a 5-star restaurant for $300, wouldn't set any alarm bells off about its quality. You can apply that same idea to your business. Don't be a cheap plate of seafood. No one is going to trust it. So, how do you position yourself as a premium offer? You focus on two things. One, a clear result, and two, a clear person that you service. So, not I help with social media, but I help realtors book 5 listing appointments a month using Instagram Reels. People will pay for a transformation that's meant specifically for them, especially if that transformation either helps them make more money, saves them time, or helps them avoid pain. You could do something like, I help new dads get in the best shape of their lives so that they can care for and play with their children for years to come. You could see why that would be a service that someone was willing to pay a premium amount for. versus I just help people get in shape. Another example, I help pest control companies find high profit customers without spending a fortune on ads. For myself, in our marketing, we used to say that we help business owners grow their YouTube channels and make more money, which we thought was very specific. But now we've actually been testing something else. We help sports and fitness content creators make more money with their YouTube channels. Instead of focusing on all business owners, we've locked in on business owners in the sports and fitness niche, and that has helped us prove that we can help those people that we're reaching out to and justify our price point because we are a custom service directly for them. If on your financial freedom journey, you're already working with clients, but you still feel underpaid or overworked, this is likely your pivot point. You need to focus on one service for one type of client and have premium pricing. One key thing to note, whenever I say $10,000 per month, in this video, I'm talking about $10,000 that you keep. So maybe you'll make 30, but if you spend 20, you have 10 left over in your bank account. I don't want to teach you how to make $10,000, but spend $9,000 to do it, because that's not going to be very helpful for you. And the best way we can know how much money your business is not only bringing in, but how much you're keeping is to organize our business banking accounts in the right way, which I do through the sponsor of this video, Relay Business Banking. There's a great book called Profit First, which lays this out. But when you use the link in the top comment to get your free Relay account and deposit your first $100, just shoot me a message on my school community and you'll get free access to my course, helping you to set all of this up. But here's what it looks like. Every single dollar that our business brings in, we want to have a job. We want to put your money to work for you. The first job is to make you profit. That is why you are a business owner. So many people think about income minus expenses, whatever's left over equals their profit. But instead, we want to think about income minus the profit that we need this business to make for us equals the expenses that we can then spend on the business. So for every dollar that hits our main income account inside of Relay, we're going to automatically transfer a certain percent of it into our profit account. Then we'll transfer a certain amount of it into our operating expenses. That's the money we have to hire people to help us, to get software, to get cameras, or whatever it is that we might need to actually run our business. The fourth account inside of Relay is then going to be our owner's compensation. And this is actually different than our profit account. Owner's compensation is what you get paid for working in your business. Profit is what you get paid for owning the business. Because remember, one day, we want the opportunity to no longer work in our business and still make money. So if we take the money that we're paying ourselves for working in the business, we can hire someone to do what we're doing and pay them that money, and we still make profit. I break this down a lot more in this video right here, but it's really important that you pay yourself for owning the business as well as for working in the business. And then the fourth account, which is also very important, is our taxes. And so Relay helps us create this system and automate it to where we know exactly how much money is coming into our business, but we also know how much we're profiting, how much we can spend on our expenses, how much we're paying ourselves, and how much we're setting aside for taxes. So again, use the link in the top comment, open your free Relay account, and once you've deposited your first $100, send me a message inside of my school community, and I'll give you free access to help you set everything up correctly. Thanks again to Relay for sponsoring this video. Once you've got that, the third thing that you want to do is reverse engineer that plan to reach $10,000 per month. So how does reverse engineering to $10,000 per month work? Because it's not about how much you make, it's about how much you keep. First, don't forget to use the financial freedom calculator. It's linked below. And the first section will show you how to figure out your financial freedom number, not some random internet goal, which $10,000 per month is probably a good number. But past that, will your ideal financially free life require you to make $15,000, $50,000, $100,000 a month? The calculator will help you figure that out. The second section will help you map backwards to discover how much exactly you need to charge and how many clients you'll be working with in order to make what you want to make, while taking into account things like taxes, expenses, and eventually hiring a team so that you don't miss out on the freedom part of the financial freedom. So if I had to start over, I'd skip the chaos and go straight to clarity by starting a service-led business that could fund my freedom. And then I would get into investing in different assets that could create passive income. You can grab that free financial freedom calculator. It'll be linked in the top comment. And if you've already made your first few sales, but you're stuck and you're trying to scale it, on the thank you page, when you get that calculator, you'll see the opportunity to work directly with me at one of our live events coming up soon. Until next time, check out those links in the top comment or check out this video right here.